You know, we thought we had a great perspective on safety in our industry, but TechStop, once again, was a great leader for us. And John Barton was a true leader that spoke to us many times and took us to another level and challenged us about our safety. At TexAPA, we have a EHS committee, Environmental Health and Safety Committee, that has gone to new strides now of communicating what safety is all about. And I want to share that just for a minute with you about what a safety share is. And safety share for us is communicating to our membership what we can focus on for our families, our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers. And two things that we have sent out as a safety share here lately is about driving hazards and being aware. And number one, with all the floods we've had, y'all have seen all the tragedies we've had with people driving off, not turning around, and they did drown. So we want to emphasize turn around, don't drown. Be safe. And one of the research things we came up with when we did our safety share on this was that there's more accidents in drowning associated with vehicles than anything else. So if you're going to drown, you're probably going to be with a vehicle in the state of Texas. So if you will, just pay attention to that. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends. Don't go around the barricades. Don't go at night when it's been raining and they're warning about you to go off in the ditches. So the other thing is school buses and school bus passing. One interesting thing to us was that in Texas in 2014, more than 600 accidents were reported in school zones. 600. I thought we were being cautious doing 25 miles an hour and watching the kids go back and forth, but that's how much distracted driving we have going on. The next thing that's happened is school bus passing. People aren't paying attention to the arm, the stop arm, the big red lights they're passing through is so bad that now the school districts are putting cameras on there and showing how people are going by there. So just pass that on to your family, friends, and neighbors. These type of things that we like to start all of our meetings at TexAPA with is a safety share. You know, at TexAPA, we formed in 1946, but we didn't get our formal establishment, our registration with the Secretary of State till 1962. So in 2012, we got to celebrate 50 years of quality. 50 years of quality doing asphalt pavements in the state of Texas, and it's a great book. That is a book right there that you can get. If anybody is interested, you're more than welcome to contact. We have it online, but you can also contact us. I'll be glad to get you a book free of charge with no problem. So we love looking at history. We love talking about the things that have been accomplished. We love talking about people, and that's what it's all about is the people in our industry from a TxDOT perspective as well as an industry perspective. Now today we have over 200 plus members, and you see all the different services that we get to do. I thought something was real interesting on asphalt pavement. When you really look at the history of it, what's the name of it? It's got so many different names. We're called hot mix, we're called blacktop, we're called tarmac, bitumen, whatever it might be. It's all kind of different names out there. I think one of the TxDOT ones is a hot mix asphaltic concrete. So it's all different names, but we're still the same product. Some of those names just come from who founded it, you know, the processes that they used. Kind of interesting. All the way back to 1828, John McAdam in Ohio to finish up the national highway in Zanesville, Ohio. He came up with stones, with mastic to put on top of that with asphalt, and completed that, and that's where McAdam came from. And Edward J. DeSmit, 1870, he's the one I credit, or most people credit, for using the hot mix asphalt. He actually heated the asphalt that came from the Trinidad Lake asphalt, and he actually churned sand and limestone in there. So there you finally got your hot mix right there. And he used that up in Newark, New Jersey. When they wouldn't let him pave roadways up there, he just went ahead and paved the road in front of the city hall. So that became very popular. The early attributes of asphalt pavement were similar to what they are now, except for that number one right there, reduced diseases. And I had, what in the heck, how did it reduce diseases? Well, what they did is, if you remember back in those days, they had cobblestones and Belgian stones, and that's where all the waste from all the animals who were pulling the wagons and vehicles, that's where the waste would settle and it would dry out. And when the wind came up, started blowing, people would breathe all that in, and it was causing disease for them. It was causing medical issues. So they loved this pavement, that now it's going to be a help to everybody stay more healthy. So that was one of the great attributes of the pavement back then. So I guess we can say, you know, asphalt pavement is healthy for you too. So I'm not sure if we can still do that. But versatile was one of the things they said. It was very versatile. Today we think it's extremely versatile, and that You know, you can use it for lining a reservoir, you can use it for a running track, you can use it for a parking lot, you can use it for a runway on all the interstate pavements. But, you know, what's important is that you use those things correctly. It is versatile. You know, I've heard some people say, oh, just go throw some mix out there and it'll be okay for 5 years. That's not what we need to do. We need to make sure we got the right materials, we put that mix together and engineer it properly and test it correctly, and then we need to make sure we put it on the right subgrade out there. So that's the type of things we're wanting to caution people on. It's a great material, it is versatile, just make sure you know what you're doing when you put it out there. Weather resistant, it was weather resistant back then, it is today. You know, we get to have the wet weather accident program aggregates that we get to use now, as well as PFC, permeable friction course, where the water comes off and reduces the spray and splash, and so it's very safe. Also back then it was quick to construct, it resists wear, and it was flexible and won't break up. That was some of the attributes that they had. So I thought that was some interesting history there. The Warren brothers really led the effort of bringing it around the country. They got a patent for heating their asphalt and interlocking stones that was blended scientifically, that was proven to be scientifically done for consistency. And so they were the first ones who really did that. They got a patent for that. They first utilized that process in Rhode Island in Park Place. Park Place was the first road that was done that way. After that, they moved on around the country. In 1906, that process was brought to Texas. They formed the Texas Bitulitic Company, which is still ongoing today. As y'all well know, that was formed in Dallas, Texas. APAC bought that company. Now it's Old Castle Materials, and I understand they're going to bring that name back. Texas Bit and Texas Bitulitic Company will be coming back. So that name has been around for a long, long time. You know, some of the things in Texas that we've seen move through the years, in the 1970s we had drum mix plants. That was the first ones we had. Also, our very first recycling project was in the 70s, and that was reported on by Roger Welch. Roger Welch was DE back then, and Nolan County was the first project that had recycled asphalt pavement on it. In the 1990s, we had some major breakthroughs there. Excuse me, with the Strategic Highway Research Program, SHARP program. That's where SuperPave got introduced to us. Tom Kendi headed up a lot of that asphalt research. $50 million was spent just on the asphalt portion of that. That's where we got SuperPave, the SuperPave gyratory, that design process. That's where we got the PG performance grade binder system came out of that. So there was a tremendous amount of work put in, a lot of benefit received from that. Now there's over 44 states that use the SuperPave system. We're using it in Texas, and I think all states are using the PG binder system. So that was a significant achievement for our industry. Also in the 90s, in 1993, TxDOT had the foresight of going to a QC/QA specification. Paul Krugler and several of the folks in this room were the ones who helped develop that, put it together, and to make sure that we were getting the type of results we needed to from all the tests. TxDOT wanted to make sure that all the technicians, the specialists, could test according to the test procedures and report them correctly. With that was the advent of the Hot Mix Asphalt Center, the certification program, partnered again with industry, with the Hot Mix Asphalt Pavement Association. Charlie Smoot put the program together, and we took on the certification program that still is going today. That's been a great partnership. That program has been built to where it is the premier certification program in the country, and it's by far the largest in the country also. We have 3 classes of HMA classes there for certification, and now we've even moved over to the soils and base, and we have 5 classes of soils and base classes. Corey Schwartz, who used to work with TxDOT, is now our HMAC director. If you have any needs for certification programs or training also, get with Corey and he'll be glad to help you out on that. Anybody that's traveling down through I-35, through Austin, down to beautiful Buda, Texas, where Cabela's is, just stop in and see us anytime. We're always there and glad to see our partners, so be sure you come by and see us. You know, the real perspective is partnering. We've got to remember that going forward. We've got too much work to do. We've got a lot of new people in our industry. And we got to remain great partners and bring all this forward. And I like what Dave Bass said a minute ago was, well, I know it was Richard, but it was through Richard, but it was Dave Bass. We need schooling, schooling, schooling. That's what we need. We need education, 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 and training. That's what we need. And that's what we've always done together. We've done a great job. We need to continue to do that. In 1974, TxDOT started joining our annual meeting and started doing reports and talking to us at that time of what's going on. I was talking to Paul Krugler a little beforehand. He said that was one of the best meetings he thought he attended during those days because of the feedback he got from everybody and what he heard there. The QCQA certification program I've talked about, a great partnering effort. Also our Quality Asphalt Pavement Awards program that we started in 1997. Craig Clark, everybody remember Craig? It was in the San Antonio district. That was one of his ideas that he came up with that we jumped on. Our perpetual pavement designs, our SMA that we have now was all due to a tour that was put together. And Paul, I think you were part of that tour, as Maksud and several others of you in this room. Went to Georgia, went to Indiana, went to Maryland to find out how to do these things correctly. But it was a joint program. It was industry, it was TxDOT, and it was TTI that went together to bring all this back to Texas. So that was a great partnering effort. Changed the way we do perpetual payments, changed the way that we were going to do SMA. And also partners and quality meetings, we appreciate what TxDOT is doing. We're having partners and quality meetings throughout the state. In each district, we're going to have over 30 this year, so we appreciate that effort. And I think a lot of us in this room don't realize how great Texas is and what that partnership has done for us. It's made us leaders in our industry. I've had the great fortune of going throughout the country, talking to these other state associations and working with them through NAPA. They look at Texas and say, hey, what are y'all doing and what will we do next? And what we do is right here, the Hamburg wheel test. Was that me going on? Okay. Well, Rodney, when you need to, just wave that thing at me so I'll stop. So, all right, good. The Hamburg wheel test is going to be one of our performance indicators that we have. Of course, the overlay test, a lot of research has been done about that to upgrade that. We're looking at those two tests to be our performance indicators for a balanced mix design, to where we can use those as parameters to use economical products for the future. That's where we want to go to. More mixed asphalt, we take that for granted. That's a great sustainable product that we have. It's a wonderful product. We're national leaders in warm mix asphalt and have been from the very start. Recycled products, again, we lead the nation in RAP and RAS. High-speed profiler. The other day, I was coming back from the East Coast, coming through Alabama. They were doing an overlay on I-20, and there was guys out there actually pushing the old California profiler. Those of you that are 1B certified, you know what I'm talking about out there measuring smoothness. We have a high-speed profiler we can run up and down the road with. We're leaders in that kind of technology. We take it for granted, but we're leaders because of that partnership. Non-tracking tack. We're not going to have all that mess of our tire tracks everywhere because of the use of non-tracking tack. TxDOT having demonstration projects to make sure that product works for us, and it's going to give us that good bind that we need to hold our payments together. Thermal imaging systems such as the PAVE R-bar, the infrared camera. There again, we're leaders in providing that type of equipment out there to get quality pavements. The other states are looking at us saying, how can y'all do this so quick and what is it doing for you? It's giving us quality pavements. It's showing whether we have thermal segregation or not. Thin overlays, we're certainly leaders in that effort. We want to make sure everybody uses that in the correct place and in the right process. Also, we're leaders in spray pavers, and now we have research being done with rejuvenators. That's the next thing that we're seeing, rejuvenators when we use our recycled products. But when you look at everything that we've been doing and everything we have done, our focus has remained on quality. That's our perspective, is quality. And we think by being leaders and by working with TxDOT that allows us to be some of the best in the nation, and that has proved to be true. That's our gauge. We send all of the Texas Asphalt Pavement TxDOT Award, Quality Asphalt Pavement Award winners to Washington, to Napa in Maryland. Almost all of those that we submit are national award winners every year. Every year. We have won the Sheldon G. Hayes Award, which is the best hot mix project in the country. We won that twice. We won the Ray Brown Award. The Ray Brown Award is the best airport project in the country. We've also won the Larry Lemon Award, which is the best, most consistent project in the country when all the testing was turned in. So we feel like there's a lot going on that adds to this. It's that partnership. It's being leaders. It's willing to try those things that we think they're going to give us more quality. There's the old building right there. We own our own building down there. Like I said, come down to beautiful Buda. I encourage you to stop by and say hello and have a cup of coffee with us. If you can't come, we have our communication tools out there. I invite you to go on site or online to texasasphalt.org, and that's where you can find our webpage. With that, you can find our magazine. Texas Asphalt is there as well, just a whole lot of resources for you to see, as well as our history book. And with that, I want to tell everybody to drive safe.